A lull in fighting has made way for potential dialogue. The Ethiopian government is pardoning a number of high-profile political prisoners, including members of the rebel Tigray People's Liberation Front. The government has been fighting the TPLF for more than a year amid ethnic and tribal tension. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's government says the pardon's purpose is to pave the way for a lasting solution to Ethiopia's problems in a peaceful, nonviolent way, especially with the aim of making the all-inclusive national dialogue a success. It was not immediately clear how many of those granted amnesty have been freed.
Welcome, everyone. This is another episode of the Upriver Crawfish. I'm your host, Sankara. This update is an update on the Ethiopian Civil War. Today is January 9th, 2022. Right now, things are not good, looking good for the Ethiopian government. And this is an unforced error. But before we go into it, let me give you an orientation. This is Ethiopia, and this area is where the conflict's happening. Let's fly into Addis Ababa. This is Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia. These are the areas in which the conflict's happening. All right. This area is the government forces outside of Tigray. This area is Tigray. The government forces have sealed the border on the west, the Sudan here. Government forces are here in Tigray and here, and along here in Tigray. The Tigrayan forces had advanced all the way down in this area, but they were pushed back into Tigray. Now, government forces have since entered Tigray in the south and taken Alamata, and they have been right at the gates of Korem. There are reports that they were pushed back from Korem, but that is not confirmed yet. But anyway, they are at Alamata. They have taken Alamata. Now, why did I say there's danger? It seems that the U.S. removal of Ethiopia from the AGOA program, some preferential trade program, has made the Ethiopian government make some unforced errors. So they have, in order to get back into AGOA, I think that's the reason, because probably the people who were benefiting from AGOA mostly were the business class, and seeing that, I mean, the Ethiopians were in general were benefiting, right? But the business class, they're the one who are getting rich of this, so I bet they are the one pushing the government to make some of the concessions that they made recently. So the government recently announced that they were going to free some opposition politicians. So amongst them was Jawar Mohammed, Iskender Nega, Bekele Gaba. Those guys were arrested 2020, I think 2020, because of some protests that they held that led to the deaths of people. These protests were in response to the murder of a popular Oromo singer, Hachalu Hundessa, who was killed. And then these guys went and launched a protest that led to more deaths. So they were in prison. Ethiopia needs to show, especially in the areas where these sectarian actions are being taken, that can jeopardize the unity of the state, they need to show strength and resolution and be resolute in punishing people for this. Now, these three guys, they're not so much the bigger problem, because if the government can make sure that there's an agreement, their nonsense will not happen again, it's fine to give them clemency. But the other people that the government gave clemency to, this is where the problem is coming. The government gave clemency to TPLF leaders, leaders who launched this war, people who attacked government garrison in Tigray, who led that uprising to attack the government garrison in Tigray to begin this bloody war. The war's not over. The TPLF marched all the way down south with an intent to capture the seat of government. They got finally pushed back. And then the government just all of a sudden decided to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory and decide to stop the war. And now freeing these guys. This is an unforced error. And again, I believe it's solely because of the economic pain that some people, some elites are feeling from AGOA. The government needs to understand that unity, sovereignty is a red line that nobody in the country gets to negotiate on. TPLF, the TPLF people that were free were Seba Nega, Kidusen Nega, Abe Woldu, Abadi Zimu, Mulu Jebre Izilbo, and Kiros Hagos. Those are top leaders of TPLF that were captured in the initial fighting in Tigray. It may seem that, this negotiation for national dialogue is a good thing. It is not. The U.S. wants TPLF back in the fold. The only compromise they seem to want to give is to allow TPLF to continue to rule Tigray, so that then Ethiopian government funding go to them, those kleptocratic guys. Which basically is saying that the Ethiopian government does not have a right or writ over Tigray. The TPLF, which started this war, this disastrous war, has the right over Tigray and the Tigrayan people. Abiy Ahmed, he better adjust this thing pretty quickly. Failure to do so, I can promise you, Ethiopia will not regain its sovereignty anytime soon. The TPLF, they can't. Tigray alone is not a viable state on its own. TPLF won the whole of Ethiopia to sponsor their mafia organization, because they have a lot of militia, a lot of trained combat troops. They will continue to wield considerable power if the government is not united, if there's not a strong central government. I promise you, what the U.S. will be trying to get the Ethiopian government to do again will be trying to get them to open that border, the border on the west that borders Sudan, to have the government troops pull back from the border to Sudan. If they do it, that will be a grave mistake. not only the US, but Egypt and Sudan will pour enough arms into Tigray for the TPLF next adventure. Ethiopia needs to understand they need to be resolute, like Eritrea is, and don't tolerate this stuff. If Eritrea, a small country, can decide that they will not tolerate this, it is nonsense for Ethiopia to continue to tolerate U.S. machinations. Freeing the TPLF leaders is a bad, bad move. Right now, in Debre Marcos, earlier actually today, in Debre Marcos, the people of Amhara region were very annoyed about this decision to release TPLF leaders. They were very, very angry about that because the TPLF went into that region and destroyed the Amhara. They destroyed buildings, raped and killed and murdered people in Amhara and Afar. So this is the Debre Marcos area. The Ethiopian government is making a grave mistake, a very grave mistake, and all because of AGOA, wanting to get back in AGOA. Personally, I think Abiy Ahmed, he better reverse this move. He is putting not just the country in danger, he is putting his own life in danger. Amhara are the ones who stood by him. Because even the people of Oromo did not want what he wanted, which is a strong central government and one Ethiopia instead of Oromo nationalist, Tigray nationalist, Afar nationalist. They did not want. He's tried to usher in a unified Ethiopia. He didn't even get support from Oromo people who felt it was their time to dominate the rest of the Ethiopian tribes. So now, with this, after this disastrous war that TPLF launched, this terrorist organization, the Ethiopian Congress and Ethiopia Congress themselves labeled the TPLF terrorists. So why would you go about freeing their leaders? This is where things are. There's a sense of foreboding coming, because I'll tell you, what he's not seeing is that those people who are supporting him are now doubting him. When they start to doubt him, and there start to be a split, that creates opportunity for Abiy's removal, or worse, his assassination. And at that stage, when that happens, I don't know if there's anybody there in the government who has the temerity or this sense and vision to continue the project for a unified Ethiopia. People may just get down to, hey, let's get back to supporting our tribe. This is a bad move on the part of Abiy Ahmed. I don't know what their thinking is. But in all this thing, I can promise them the U.S. will not bring them back in the fold unless the TPLF is placated, which means this border, they will have to withdraw from this border, giving opportunity for TPLF to get arms through there. They will have to let TPLF run Tigray. America is not going to agree for their lapdogs to be kicked out. The only success for the Ethiopian government out of this stuff is a full regain of Tigray, an extension of the government writ back into Tigray, all of TPLF forces disarmed, the TPLF organization disbanded, the TPLF leadership either imprisoned or sent out of the country into exile. Short of that, the Ethiopian government has lost the war. There is no other option. And the people of Amhara and Afar have every right to be angry. Every right to be angry. These jokers left, challenged the government, went into other state, purposely caused a whole lot of damage and mayhem, killed, raped, and maimed people in those other places. They were not thinking about Ethiopia as a country. But yet the government wants to fold because of money opportunities. Every Ethiopian project that can help this government improve the lives of its people will not be in jeopardy. Because the U.S. does not want a country strong and unified. They want a country that's weak so that they can manipulate, so that they can then continue to destabilize other places in the Horn of Africa. This is not good news. Yeah. I hope Abiy Ahmed rethink this. Again, this has been an update on the Ethiopian war. I'm your host, Sankara. Please subscribe to the Upriver Crawfish. And guys, you can go ahead and comment. I will respond to your comments. Please click on the bell so that you will get updates once I send new videos. But do comment. Let's interact. That will be fun. You can give me your views, and all views are welcome. We can debate on some of this. All right. Thank you.